Humanitarian parole, a process by which somebody who is otherwise inadmissible to the U.S. to bypass the visa procedure and get permission to enter into the U.S. for two particular reasons: humanitarian reasons or to get a significant public benefit. In this video, I'll talk about humanitarian parole, and we will talk about how we can help somebody that is otherwise inadmissible to get permission to enter in the U.S. Bijoux.ngwanda here, immigration lawyer in the DC metropolitan area. If you're new to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe. If you're not new, welcome back. Thank you for subscribing, and please don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. If you enjoy the content, please go ahead and share, like. Don't forget to comment below. As far as the bill is concerned, please go ahead and visit and share. Of course, I wanted to say share first, but go ahead and visit my YouTube community. I've gone ahead and I have laid out basically in a nutshell the summary of the bill, so you know who's included, who's not included. So clear as it can get. So go ahead and visit my community tab, share my videos, because we are not taking consultation at this moment because the bill has not become law yet. Having said that, let's get into today's subject. Humanitarian parole. You have to use the form I-131 and I-134 because the I-134 is a sponsorship form for the person who's petitioning or applying for that person who wants to seek humanitarian parole to get into the U.S. Let's start with humanitarian reasons, okay? For example, you're living right now, Afghanistan is really the typical one. Unfortunately, what's going on in Afghanistan is sad, but we have to go ahead and talk about it because some people can find themselves benefiting from that situation, not in a good way, of course, but because it just happened, then there's nothing else you can do but to apply for those type of benefits. Okay, what's happening in Afghanistan, and for humanitarian reason, a person who does not have a visa or the visa is not available yet can really apply for humanitarian parole and get to the U.S. as quick as possible. And note that you can advance it too. You can expedite that humanitarian request because of humanitarian reason. But people who have other petitions in line are well positioned compared to somebody who has no other petition in line. Let me explain. For example, let's say the person who's applying for humanitarian parole is otherwise eligible for the form I-360, special immigrant for Afghanistan, especially for those who work in the basically as interpreters through a certain period of time to the U.S. Embassy in Afghanistan. So those people are eligible for immigrant special status. So by applying by using the form I-360, but remember that process takes time. But because of what's happening currently, if you have a petition pending, of course you can ask for humanitarian parole, bypassing this entire visa procedure so that you can get here, and showing them, of course, that you already have an I-360 petition pending. Or you have another petition pending, such as I-130, which is somebody else applied for you as a relative, trying to petition for you to come to the U.S. as a relative, and that petition is still pending with USCIS. Of course, you can apply for humanitarian parole because of what's happening currently in your country. That's just not for Afghanistan people. We have a lot of countries, especially where there are civil war going on, and you can really benefit from this humanitarian parole. And on top of it, if a petition is pending, it's even better it makes that case stronger. That's what I'm trying to say. But if you don't have any petition pending with USCIS and you are not a beneficiary from any other type of petition with USCIS, well, you can still apply for humanitarian parole if you have a sponsor. Remember, because we're using two forms, I-131 and I-134. So you can still have a sponsor here, somebody who's willing to sponsor you for you to come, so that you can stay here for a period of 2 years until the situation stabilizes itself. And if it doesn't, then, well, when you get here, you can still apply for asylum, provided that you have a well-founded fear of persecution. That's the reason you first got here, and now you're applying for asylum because humanitarian parole, of course, it gives you only 2 years of residency here. You can have a work permit, but it doesn't translate to a green card. So in order for it to translate later on to a green card, it's gonna be either you have a petition pending, or you are going to be a beneficiary for a certain petition, even if it hasn't been applied yet, but they're going to apply for you later. But if nothing is pending or in the process of being pending, so my friend, you're gonna have to find a way to actually stay. The most common one for people who come from humanitarian reasons are asylum. Asylum is the most common one. Okay, and then once you apply, given that you have a real fear of persecution, and then you get approved after a year, if after your approval, a year later, then you can petition or apply for a green card and petition for your family members as well. Okay, but the petition for a family member, you can do it as soon as the approval of the asylum has taken place. I'm talking about after a full year of waiting is after you have been granted asylum once already here. Okay, but let's say there are no humanitarian crisis going on where you are, but you want to use humanitarian parole so that you can get here as quick as possible because of a significant public benefit. How this one is going to play out. What is significant public benefit? By definition, it can be health reasons. You want to get here because you want to take care of your health, but it has to be a very serious condition that cannot be treated where you are. So that's why you really want to come here, and you have people here sponsoring your treatment so that they can help you out with that type of disease. Okay, or you can be that's usually applied for elderly parents too. You have a son here who is a U.S. citizen, and they file for you, or they haven't filed yet, but you back home, it's getting harder for you to live alone, but you have people here like your son or your daughter who want to bring you here, but because we know with the form I-130, it takes time while they can use humanitarian parole and claim a significant public benefit so that you can get here. Okay, and that can be also for somebody who's coming in order to take care of somebody else, a family member. Let's say you have a son there and you want them to come here, or you have somebody that you know that can take care of you here because you cannot take care of yourself, while you can use humanitarian parole to sponsor that person to get here, take care of you for a period of time. 2 years, that's what they give, but they can still renew it. Of course, come with work permit, etc., etc. Having said that, humanitarian parole is a discretionary measure, okay? And when we talk about discretionary, we already know that discretionary is different from mandatory relief. One is the discretionary relief. It means that they look at the totality of circumstances, they look at on the argument, and they decide how they want to decide. Really, it's not mandatory that they have to give it to you, but things can be in your favor if you line yourself in the best position, or you position yourself in the best light possible with those arguments and those proof necessary to convince USCIS to give you humanitarian parole so you can get here bypassing the entire visa procedure. But please do not use it just because you want to bypass the visa procedure. It's not recommended. Unfortunately, if they find out that you're just doing it because you just want to get here, because you don't want to wait for your petition because you've been waiting for a long time, it's not going to work like that. You got to have strong arguments. Of course, again, it is discretionary, different from mandatory. When we talk about mandatory relief, it's like if you qualify, they have to give it to you. But when we talk about discretionary, even if you qualify, they might still deny it because they reserve the right to use a discretion. Okay, that was it, my folks. We are still here for the good news, my friend. We are still waiting for this bill to pass. As a matter of fact, we are praying for it to pass, and we hope that it will pass so that we can come back here with live sessions. We can come back here taking cases. Oh, I can't wait for that, because we have to come back here taking cases. That's the purpose of our business, to help you settle here, reunite with your family, and live your best American dream. Until next time, bye-bye.